Sword of Mercury. So today, we're going to be talking about how consciousness works, the science behind it, and we're going to start from our sensory perception. So what we see, what we sense with our senses, and how that translates into traveling as an electrical signal or electrical impulse, which then triggers a release of chemicals into our bloodstream, which in turn, through various processes, influences hormones and then translates into the cellular matrix. So without further ado, we'll bust out the tappy marker and we'll get into it. So, a lot to cover today. So essentially, you first see something in the outside environment, and this is typically why people always trumpet meditation and things like that, because you're teaching the senses to disengage from the environment and resonate with a state within you greater than what you're experiencing outside of you. So you're teaching your system to respond to your inner mechanistic interplay in the system, rather than the external interplay that would translate into the system. So, very important. So, that then travels as an electrical signal, whether you're happy or fearful or whatever the case is, whatever emotion or sensation you're feeling based on that which you're visualizing or sensing or seeing or whatever, touching, tasting, whatever. And that essentially leads to these visions or sensory perception. And I don't know if you can see, I'll spin around here. There's two squiggly lines, and one is representing coherent vibration. This is a discoherent vibration. So typically you can resonate these with something, a desired effect you want, such as unity, harmony, joy, happiness, love. This fear, sadness, depression, anxiety, represented through the discoherent vibration, right? So that is essentially how these signals travel in the system. And then that vibration through the process of respiration, the electrical signal, as that vibration goes through the process of respiration in which we breathe, and we put that into essentially the oxygen or the respiration system. So we breathe that emotion or that electrical charge, we imprint it on the molecular structure that we are breathing in, so oxygen, and then it converts to CO2 because we are then expelling the compound that includes the aspect of carbon. So with that, it goes through, it causes chemical release into the system based on whatever that vibration initially was that you sense from the external sensory perception, or internal if you're visualizing or utilizing your mindfulness, right? Or any kind of subconscious reprogramming modalities or active aspects of consciousness or conscious activity. Causes chemical release into the system. So, if we're talking about coherent vibrations, it then produces chemicals into the system to make you feel a certain way, make you feel better. And that in turn, through the release of hormones, it gets translated or imprinted on the almost foundation or the biology of the cellular matrix. And I put here suns because we really need to start thinking of cells in the body like little suns that are producing energy. Cells is not a proper word to describe what this organism actually is. It's almost like a sun in the sky producing heat and energy, and it's alive. In any case, through the process of genome expression and epigenetic switches that operates on ones and zeros, which control which genes gets expressed and which do not get expressed. That can control which genes in the system are turned on and turned off. So, genes to make you age slower, genes to make you less susceptible to disease, genes to make you heal rapidly, all of that. So, epigenetic switches influence the genome expression. Genome expression you typically get passed down from generations, but a lot of this DNA does not serve us for one. And the other part is a lot of DNA has actually been shown from science to be what's called junk DNA, and that's 90% or something like that. That is genes that are not utilized because they're almost like in this dormant state. They're not utilized because society doesn't condition us to utilize them, right? In any case, epigenetics control the genome expression translates into the gene expression, or epigenetic switches control the expression of the genome, which then causes the genome structure that's already there to express itself, which translates into the cellular matrix, or sons. So this is the basis of what goes on in the system, and the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of times we talk about spiritual development and all the physics around us of how the cosmos operates and how it's so profound and how we have unlimited potential. But if we can't integrate it back into the system, realizing how information is passed from one point to another, we are missing that bridge that connects the higher self to the self that is here, right? So we need to integrate it, and we do that through understanding, through acceptance, and through understanding this process. We can utilize it to understand what the process is and how information is moving through the system. In any case, the principle is that through understanding these mechanisms, understanding this process, we can then utilize that for our development and integrate that spiritual insight that we have into our system in the physical realm and in the energetic realm and all the realms, because we have the bridge that is built. In any case, that is the majority of what I have for you today. I encourage you to like and subscribe to help support the channel as always. Let me know if you found this video helpful in the comment section below. I encourage you to check out my other podcast, Moonstruck, as well as follow me on Instagram at @top_sorcerer. I will link all of those in the description below. And I love reading your guys' comments. Again, we're almost up to 300 subs, so yay. I encourage you guys to like and subscribe and share this with friends or family so they can utilize this information to better their own life as well. I also encourage you guys to really comment, because I love reading your guys' comments. I love hearing your guys' suggestions for future episodes. Let me know if you want me to expand more on this subject in a future video. And once again, this is brought to you by the Prince of Mercury, right here on the Sword of Mercury. So once again, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.